Hi, Veronica. Welcome to the podcast. Welcome back.
Hi, thank you. I'm so honored to be with you again.
I'm so glad that we connect again. And maybe you want to share. You've been on the podcast before, but maybe you want to share if you have a new daily practice that you can let us know about that is good to ground and to just be present in your daily life.
This summer, I have been practicing yoga, really. And I just started my meditation practice. And I'm diving into the goddess cult. And especially the Dark Mother, which we are going to talk about.
That's a good
So,
synchronicity. Yeah.
Yes, it is. It's really wow.
That's lovely. Thank you for sharing that. And I mean, we've known each other for many years now, and I would love for you to maybe introduce yourselves to the listeners that haven't heard you on the podcast before, and just let them know who you are and what you do.
Okay. My name is Veronica, and I'm a medium and a witch and a yogi and a fortune teller and a Reiki master. And I am stepping into priestesshood as we speak. So I'm walking with the goddess and exploring all of her faces and all of her lineages, really. Only to come back to it's the same source.
That's true. So that's beautiful. And you've shared this before. You've had a connection for a long time with the goddess and the divine feminine. And how has your path been over these past years with her? And what does it mean for you to step into the priestess path and really working like in a devotional way?
It's been more about releasing than gathering. I've been gathering information, of course, but it's all about shedding your shell so you can hear your mission. And you want to hear your mission and your passion through all what have been built around you, that society has made you think different things about yourself, and you have to shed all those layers, really. And priestesshood is for me a dedication to the goddess, and it's a dedication to the divine feminine and masculine, and gathering my power back, really, the power that's been lost. So walking with the goddess is it's like a daily, it's a promise, and then it's a dedication, and it's more and more becoming a part of my daily essence, really. It's nothing that I think about too much, really. It's I speak to the goddess every day, every morning, every night. And of course she's been challenging me, but she's challenging me in a way that I can understand, that I can embrace. Before I had the connection with the goddess, it was more, the challenges were more connected to shame and guilt. Now the challenges are more about embracing, letting go, and it's very, very important to not put labels on yourself. It's like really disconnecting a little bit from the person you think you are, just to watch and love, and embracing yourself again. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that's beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing that. I love that you are always in communion. It's not like separating your physical life and your spiritual life, it's like a constant flow, like it's always there. So like everything is sacred and everything is can be infused with this like awareness. And I feel like it's very supportive in that way, and it feels very, it's like even in that devotion, sometimes devotion can sound like you're giving up something or just giving, but it's so much receiving in that space. So I think it's beautiful to be dedicated to that path. And I would love for you to share, because yeah, we've been on a journey together, and for the past few years a lot has happened in our lives since we met also. And we've like when we talk, we always get into the goddess and we talk about this calling and everything, and we've met her in different ways. And you've had also a strong relationship with Kali. And maybe we can touch upon that, and then also get into what is the different aspects of the goddess, which, and today we really wanted to talk about the it's so funny when we say like the dark goddess. It can I'm sure that people are wondering, why would we, because we associate dark with something that is, we want to like have a dual vision of everything. And even if everything is dualistic in one way, it doesn't mean that something is better than the other. And it means that we are allowing and accepting all of life, I feel like. But yeah, we can get into that if you want to, and you can maybe share your like path and how you've come to this point where you are right now.
It started with Kali Ma, really. Yeah, I mean, you have goddesses for abundance and joy and beauty and art, and Kali is the mother of destruction. So why would she be, you could ask yourself, why would she be everybody's mother if she is the mother of destruction? Well, as you said, darkness is not, it's nothing dangerous, and it's nothing bad, it's nothing evil. It's part of the divine transformation of light and darkness, and it's all love. When you shed light, the shadows disappear, and you can clearly see what needs to be changed or need to be loved, what needs focus. And then you have the darkness that can wrap around you again, and it's like yin and yang, really. You need the rest to be active. You have the active part, and you have the rejuvenation part. You need both of them. So darkness is not darkness in the sense of evil or bad. It's really a place of divine feminine and rest and reflection, meditation, rejuvenation. So the Dark Mother is really asking us, because she's the mother of transformation, and everything is change and transformation. So when I could embrace that, because I was scared of Kali in the beginning, I was like, oh my God, oh my goddess, what does she want with me? And this destruction and chaos, is that always, it doesn't have to be that intense. Transformation can be so graceful and so loving, and it can be a very, very, very slight transformation, a very slight transit from one step to another. And that's also Kali, that is also change and transformation. And in the end, it's healing. And one of my missions in life is healing myself and others. So that's really why the Dark Mother is so important to me, because transformation is healing. Yeah, and all the different aspects of the goddess is as important. But I feel, and that's because it's my path, I feel that the Dark Mother is, she is everybody's mother. because everything is in constant change. That's why I have my devotion and dedication to her. And as you said, the devotion is not like, oh, everything is, I just throw myself into this realm of love and light and la la la. It's about grounding yourself a lot and standing strong in love and in grace. So that's, Kali helps me with that too. And Kali has many faces. Her essence has many faces in different cultures. In Norse culture, her name is Hel, and Hel means whole, really. And in the Celtic tradition, her name is Ceridwen, and you can find her, you know, in many different cultures. I think it's very important to embrace darkness as it is important to embrace light.
That is so true. And I think if we don't embrace it, and it means, you know, this also concept of like trying to, like, how can you not like embrace all of life, which includes death, and still feel like you're embracing life fully? Because it's not possible otherwise. You have to like fully be in peace with all aspects, and not to
and what is death if not transformation?
Exactly.
It's transformation.
Exactly. And we have like these many births and deaths throughout life, so we know how it is, so we shouldn't be like that surprised over, or like keep on wondering like what does it mean to die, because we know that in our own life, like a different aspects of us are constantly like changing and growing and dying and getting reborn, and we're doing that like every night, because we have like this mini death every night, and we enter a stage where we don't have dreams and we're not conscious at all. So like even if we come back to the body again, it doesn't mean that after we die we don't come back to a body again. So
exactly, reincarnation. And it's also, but what I think people are, maybe we're not really scared of death, but we're scared of separation, and we're scared of pain.
Yeah, true.
And pain and fear is the absence of love. So when we love, we can embrace the pain, and we can even embrace the fear a little bit, to see, you know, to be clear of what it is. I mean, I'm not scared of death, but experiencing separation and pain, we all do. No one is, you know, spared.
Yeah.
And if you love, you will experience separation and pain. So, and the pain comes from, I think, from pushing the sorrow away, or pushing, let's see. The more you resist, the more pain you will feel. So embracing the separation, embracing the loss will probably make you grow faster, and death won't be a separation, it will be a transformation. Really. That's what I believe. And I think the dark goddess is there to help us with that transit.
Yeah, that's beautiful. And that can be applied to like all types of the transformations that we go through in life, and that we always feel supported in that life. And as you said, like there's so many stories of the that aspect of the mother, like when I'm thinking about the story of Persephone as well, when she goes down into the underworld, and it's also a story of nature, how it like wakes up and dies, and we don't question during the winter, like, will nature live again? We're like so sure, like every spring it comes to life again. So it's like a cycle all the
Exactly.
time.
And
What
and walking with,
yeah.
sorry.
No, go ahead.
But walking with the goddess and in priestesshood is walking the cycle. And the cycle of nature, but also the cycle of the moon.
Yeah.
So really, our lives are cyclic. It's not something straight ahead.
Exactly.
Because we also have to learn from our past. The past doesn't have to define you, but you can learn. So every spring that flower blossoms again, and you can learn from, where did I put that seed? Is this earth, is this soil really the best soil for me? Where do I put my seeds? Where do I sow them? So thinking cyclic, seeing cyclic, and living cyclic is a part of that. It's part of priestesshood, and a lot of witches do that as well. So, and death is a part of that. Darkness is a part of that. So,
yeah, and as you said, like nature has its cycles, and I'm thinking also it's not like a coincidence that we have like in nature we have the Fibonacci sequence of the spiral, and we look at atoms, which like and the planets who are round and circular. So there's no place really that is like completely a straight and like just moving from one place to another and then it ends. It's like constantly like that. So I love that thought, because that's how we do ground ourselves. That's how we do connect with everything around us, the universe, the stars, the planets, and that aspect of life within us as well. And I would love to know, so we talked about the different aspects, and you've been working with Kali as one of the aspects, and her stories are really strong and powerful when it comes to what you said, the transformation, life and death, and also this fierce feminine. And maybe we can talk about the different aspects of the Dark Mother from different cultures, if you want to share any that are particularly strong for you right now.
Sure. I really want to make a stand that Kali is also graceful. She's not just fierce. She's very, very graceful and very, very caring. It's easy to picture her with this, she's on the battlefield and there's blood and there's chaos, but there's also another image of her when she with her three eyes, she sees the past, the present and the future, and she's calm really in her darkness. So really I want to share that image too.
Thank you.
And that's really how I see her for the most. So but you have in the Norse mythology, you have Hel. I walked with her a few years ago, and now I have recently been started to connect with Ceridwen, the Celtic goddess from Wales is her origin, and she is the goddess of transformation and healing and magic, and she's also the mother that brings the dead souls to the afterlife, or to Avalon, if you wish. And I feel strongly connected to her, since I'm a Reiki master, and I'm also a medium. I speak with dead people, dead souls. And I say past, I would say the past souls, they passed over. So, and she has this big cauldron, and when she's fierce, she just turns things around, and you just have to get into the cauldron and be with the flow, whatever she decides to do. But she's also, she can turn whatever's in that cauldron gracefully, softly, and gently. And you know how it is when if you're in a pool or you're in the ocean and you're just carried by the water, and you know, subtle changes in the wind or in the water, but it's still caring and graceful. That's Ceridwen, I would say, and Kali and Hel. And I really wish for, you know, all those aspects of the mother to come together. I love to learn more from different cultures, because we are, in front of the mother, we are all one, or in front of the father, we are all one. So gender in this. You know, I'm always open to learn more. Because I think God, the goddess, and God it's a force and space that is inclusive.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. And when I'm thinking, now that I read some stories just talking about that aspect of like fierceness but healing and all that, I thought about Sekhmet, because the past like few weeks I've been like just studying her stories. I never knew so much. I've seen her, you know, her images, and the same there, like out of the want to have a peaceful world, she unleashed her fierceness to like protect and be very strong, and almost like it killed everyone because of that. And it's so interesting because it's kind of like Kali also was the protective, and that's also like the aspect of the mother that is like this protector but also nurturer. So like Sekhmet is also like connected to healing, for example. And
yes,
so
yes.
it's really interesting what you said. It's like always that double aspect, of course, because that's also within us. We have all aspects in us, so we can't say, oh, we're just like this or we're just like that. It's like, yeah, one day you can be like happy and inclusive, and one day you want to turn off or you're angry, and that's just a normal, like having emotions is a normal part of life. There's no emotion that is wrong, or and it's just when we get too much into one emotion, whichever emotion it is, even if it's like joy, if you get too much joy, it's like mania, like it's not good either.
Yeah,
so it's
right
you have to have like a balance, and also find like the midpoint of that as well sometimes. And so what do you think that, like, I think what I've seen, and maybe you've experienced the same, it's like we get these initiations in life, especially like through a time where we feel like we're struggling, or there's something like happening in life where we truly can work with. It's almost like a calling from that aspect of the mother. How do you see that? How would you say that people can start working with this to heal and transform?
I was talking to a priestess yesterday, really, and she told me she had a colleague at work, and that colleague was like, I need a religion. I need someone to tell me how to think, how to act, how to speak. And we were laughing about that a little bit, because walking with the goddess is more It's not about having a sacred script. It's about diving into yourself without judging. That is the hard part. Without judging. So whenever I feel lost, I stop trying so much. I stop trying to understand, why is this happening to me? Why? Or I feel all those emotions. I can, cry, I can be angry and everything, but I try not to hold back, and I let the goddess through. Because when I ask, she answers. and I think that this priestess that I was talking to, we were talking about dedication, and how do I dedicate myself? How do I really, if I need to heal and transform? And she gave this suggestion. I think it's really nice. Go to a place you love. It can be in nature. It doesn't have to be in nature. It can be a certain room or a certain house or a certain environment that makes you feel safe. And you just strip yourself naked. I don't mean you have to take off your clothes. You just get into that essence of yourself where you are naked and vulnerable, and say, I'm here, help me understand. Help me heal and transform. And she will respond. That is my experience anyway. But you have to be willing to listen. You have to be willing to know that's it's not always the answer you think it is. That's why you have to strip yourself of all expectations. Just be present in that conversation with the goddess or God, if you wish. Be present and have a clear intention. And it will help you heal and transform in many ways, I believe.
Yeah, definitely. And yeah, I'm wondering also, like, in your practice, when you're working with, let's say, this aspect, are you working like throughout the moon cycle? What is your potent times to even dive deeper into this and into yourself? Like, because that's also like such powerful energy to work with these cycles that are very visual, and we can see it when the moon turns dark, and we can see it when it's like full. It's very much there.
I know, and a lot of witches, in my experience, is that, the full moon, I love the full moon, don't get me wrong, but for me it's the dark moon, right before the new moon. That's where you can rest and reflect and embrace without forcing anything. Maybe it also have with the dark mother, when she's most present, and in the cycle of the year, it's during fall, when we're all, it's the earth element. We're all, slowing down a little bit after summertime, and the evenings are getting longer and darker, and we're lighting the candles, and around All Hallows Eve, the dark mother is at her peak, and I truly love that season so much. I feel safe. I feel, cared for. I feel creativity. I feel magic. It's like I'm in Hogwarts all the time. It's the time of magic, I believe.
Yeah.
And so the dark moon is my strongest phase, really.
Yeah, I really like the dark moon, and this one that was beautiful, and like I don't know, I've been like in my own world, and especially in the dream world, it's been like so intense. It's been very intense.
Yes.
Even today I was feeling like almost hangover after this night.
And you had the Lion's Gate,
Yeah.
the portal,
Yeah.
and you had the new moon, and it was very intense, and I had very strange dreams. I had this dream that I was flying, and I was flying through through this forest, and I felt that the branches were, in the way. The trees were in the way, and something inside me was like, well, since you're dreaming, you can just think those trees away and you will be free. It's really just a limitation in your brain. And it was uncomfortable. It was not, like, oh, I can just think them away, because I saw them as limitations. So for me, that was a message from the goddess that, you have to take a closer look on your limitations. What is hindering you on the way? Because we are free.
Yeah. That's
so
beautiful. Yeah, dreams can be very healing. And I love that you tapped into this, like, okay, we're still in the summer now here in the Northern Hemisphere, but let's say in about more than a month, we will have like the fall equinox. And that point, like, what would you say if people are listening now, the upcoming weeks are like, what should one think about that particular day, and which aspects of the goddess would be like especially strong for that period, do you think?
You're talking about the fall equinox?
Yeah.
Or yeah.
Yeah.
This is a time, it's the second harvest. So it's a time to enjoy presence and company with friends and families, slowing down, reflect, meditate, connect with the earth. And the goddess, I don't know which aspect. An Avalon priestess, she would know, according to the Celtic goddesses. But me, it's really whoever comes up at that time. And it could be a god. But I remember that the last fall equinox, I was in connection with Jemaya. But that was me, and the aspect of her that I needed to work on, and be near water and cleanse myself, detox, or whatever that means. So I think that's, again, you don't need that book, or you don't need that, this is the specific goddess you need to walk with during this specific time. You can do that. Of course you can do that. But you can also just be open and receive and see whoever comes up. And I know that you walk with the Egyptian goddesses a lot. And I'm looking forward to exploring that part, because I'm not, I don't know much about them. I know some of them, but not much. And maybe that's what's coming up for me this fall equinox. I don't know.
Yeah, I love that answer, because I think that it's like, not okay, sometimes it's nice to have this
manual.
Yeah, this manual template, and especially in the beginning. But
yes.
As you were answering and you said this, I also thought, yeah, but it can be one aspect that you're working with, but different like seasons with the same goddess as well, of course. And for me, like the strongest that has really, before I even knew the concept of goddess and all of it, before we met, was Ishtar from the Sumerian, right. And yeah, both from the Sumerian Akkadian, so Ishtar Inanna from the regions where I'm from in the world, so, and my ancestry comes from. And definitely one can see the lineage all the way to like yeah, all the way to Mary Magdalene and forward. Like it's like you said, it's all the same, it's same source. It's just so many beautiful stories and names and languages. So it's just the human form trying to make sense out of something. So I love that. And it's, if you really want to work with the goddess in any way, it's like just inviting that in, and it will be so clear and it will change. I was listening to someone the other day that also, I mean, there can be a certain time in your, maybe you have one connection with someone very strongly, and then, but just around a certain time in your life, there's one aspect that becomes very important to you, and because there's something you're working with. And we go through these different passages and initiations, and also women going through the cycles. It's really letting oneself flow and open up to all of its goodness, and yeah, just let that embrace you. I think it's
Exactly.
so beautiful.
And there are a lot of women, you know, who experience, men and women, who experience a connection with the goddess through meditation. And I think it's really beautiful, because it's, you know, some of my friends, oh, I saw this goddess in my meditation. I don't know her name, but you know, you're just some clicks away to find the name.
Yeah.
And it's always with the right message. It's really, really exciting. It's really exciting. I had once had a meditation. This was during springtime, and the Celtic tradition is is turning their focus on briding. And I had this meditation, and I just saw this woman coming through the woods, and she had a deer in her arms and horns. And I was like, this is not briding, or is it briding? I don't know. And it took me quite some time, but then somebody told me, another Avalon priestess, and she said, you're talking about Ellen of the Ways. And Ellen of the Ways is the goddess of transits, really. So from one step to another, she leads you.
Wow.
It was really beautiful. And I could connect with that. I could, oh yes, oh yes.
Yeah.
So
it's
magical. It's magic. So she will show herself to you in a phase or in an aspect that will connect to you.
Yeah.
So whenever you meditate or reflect and you get this image, don't be scared of it or try to change it, because, you know, it's the image and the message that it's made especially for you.
Yeah, definitely. This was so beautiful to talk to you, and thank you so much for sharing everything that you've just did. And it's yeah, it's always fun talking to you. Do you have anything that you want to share now, or how people can connect with you if they want to work with you?
Or you can always check out my, I'm not a social media type, but I have a Facebook page called Veronica Näslund. In one word, Veronica Näslund.
I will put that in the show notes. Yeah.
Perfect. So there you can, you're so welcome to connect. And I'm so honored to be part of this channel again and talking to you.
It's beautiful as usual. I love talking to you. I learned so much listening to you. So thank you so much again.
Thank you. And blessed be everyone. And have a beautiful fall, because the Dark Mother is spreading her wings and she was about to embrace us all.